like code switching, you are automatically thinking about code, game, stuff like that. But in this video, we're not going to touch on that. Code switching is specifically going from hard 24/7 and also who you replace yourself to be, whether it's on your 8, 6, 12-hour shift. Code switching. Back to my channel. My name is Tottie, and in this video we are going to be talking about self-elevation. I'm just going to be giving you guys a few tips and a few things that I've learned along the way. Just giving a little background. I've been working in corporate America for almost 10 years, I believe. Yeah, maybe 9 to 10 years, and I have been front facing in positions in areas as in education. I also worked for a local police department, hospital, and things of that nature. So these are some tips and some things that I have learned while working in these spaces, and they have helped me, and I also hope that they help you along the way. Excuse me if I'm looking down. I did write some notes down on this piece of paper just to make sure that I didn't forget anything that I wanted to talk about today. Example of code switching would possibly be growing up hearing your mom change her voice while she answers her phone, whether she's choosing to talk to her boss, a bill collector, or anyone other than, regular family. And a perfect example of code switching, I don't know if I could find a link or if I could possibly put it in this video. If you guys haven't seen the movie Sorry to Bother You, that movie, the main character plays a customer service agent in a call center, and the way that he chooses to change his voice and that persona that he gives off while working is a perfect example of code switching.
Use your white voice.
My white voice?
I'm not talking about Will Smith's wife, like this young blood.
Hey, Mr. Kramer, this is Langston from Regalview.
First, I want to start off with, in these roles, I specifically make it a valid point to come off ladylike, or to be a lady in this role. And the specific reason why I choose the word lady is because of this definition. A lady is a woman of a superior social position, especially one of noble birth. It's also a polite reference for an old-fashioned term of a lady. Of a woman, I'm sorry. So that's why I choose to make sure that I'm ladylike in the workplace. For these spaces, it is important to make sure that you are pleasing to the eye, to the sight, which means you are put together, you are polished, you are presentable, and your overall look is something pleasing to look at. Another thing is to make sure when you are speaking that you come off with poise, you enunciate, you pronunciate, and you are someone that others wouldn't mind listening to. You know what you're talking about, and you just come off professional in a sense of your communication when I'm in the workplace. But I also like to smell good. I also make sure that when I leave the house, I'm wearing lotion, I'm moisturized, I wear a perfume, so when I walk by or I walk in the office, it's inviting. They smell me upon arrival, and it's something not only that is triggering to the senses, it's something that's unforgettable as well. So make sure that you are pleasing to the eye, you have a pleasing smell. This one isn't as important as the sight, and being pleasing to the ears and being able to communicate, but it ties everything all together. And I know this seems like a lot, but we'll be explaining shortly why I do all of these things in my current role or in my past roles, not only to set myself apart from my coworkers, but I have honestly taken this into consideration. This is now who I am and the woman and the lady that I am becoming. So I make sure that I apply these traits and these things to myself every day that I wake up and I go to work, because I have been doing these routines and following these steps. It's just a certain thing about it. Like, I feel like, for one, I'm more respected. For two, I feel like I can achieve my personal goals in the workplace. It's easier to deal with customers for some reason. I don't know. When you're put together, you're poised, and you look good, you feel good, you have a better personality, a better attitude towards things, and it just makes for a better day. Another important thing that I want to talk about is stereotypes. Now, this one is specifically related to the ladies that look like me, because that's what I can talk about, because this is who I am. So, the stereotype of black women, right? Especially those who are dark-skinned black women. What comes along with that? They think we're belligerent, we're loud, we often blame shift, we're strong, we're single, we're independent, and things of those nature. So, first, I can't erase those stereotypes, but I can do my best to present myself in ways that don't correlate with the terms that I just described here. And another thing that I wanted to touch on is what we hear of independent women. Independent, I don't need no man, I'm independent, blah, 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 blah. We all heard of it. They even make songs about it. I am taking my responsibility and my actions to change from what was independent to now being responsible and having a high self accountability. So, I'm not saying that everything that goes along with the independence is bad, wrong, negative, but I'm now shifting from that mindset of independence is now going towards myself. I have a high standard of self accountability and responsibility. So people can look at you, determine whatever they think. It doesn't matter. You can't change everybody's thought process anyway, but I'm just letting you guys know where my mindset is and how I'm making that shift. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is the term pretty privilege that has been thrown across the internet for the last year or two. Honestly, I don't want to say I don't believe in pretty privilege, but you don't have to be necessarily pretty to receive these privileges, right? You could be a solid 6 and still be able to receive these privileges. But instead of people forcing the word pretty, because we all know what America's beauty standard of pretty is, and that doesn't follow a lot of our terms for pretty. But what we can now call it, or what you should now focus on, if you don't feel like you fall in that category, is being polished privilege. You feel good, and there's no one that can knock you off of your high horse, because you know what you put into yourself, and you know at the end of the day what you're expecting of yourself and how you expect others to follow through and treat you. And I promise you, if you follow these guidelines and these steps of putting more into yourself, I promise you will see a shift in how others treat you and how your days go, not only in your business life but also your professional life. Thanks for listening to me ramble and me go on about how these steps could help you in the workplace and proper gaps in what we call code switching. This is who I'm now focused on becoming. I know where I come from, and there are certain times in the workplace where I challenge myself from going from Tyja to Ty. And yeah, in that example of using my birth name and the short name is just because a lot of times we hear about companies talking about inclusion, diversity, and blah blah blah, this, that, and the third. Now that everything is shifting and changing from, you know, them considering people's race and everything that goes along with that, sexual orientation, you know what I'm saying, preference, all this, that. But at the end of the day, I know for sure, me being in a business space and being a Black woman, there are certain things that I constantly have to be reminded of, cautious of, and know how to move around. The first one will be, I don't know if you guys necessarily deal with this, but coworkers either being intimidated by your name or not even caring enough to know your name, pronunciate your name, or respecting you enough to learn the meaning of your name. But recently I've had some issues with coworkers and the pronunciation of my name and things of that nature. So I politely, you know, have these discussions with them. You know, they do make me somewhat uncomfortable, but I feel like these discussions need to be had based off of, you know, respect and who I am. And I do sit them down and tell them, you know, my name is Tyja. It's pronounced Tyja, like Elijah. I choose to shorten my name and go by Ty while in the workplace to make it easy for those who have a hard time discussing my name. But what we will not do is, for one, play about my name, because I've given you those two options. So either you call me one of the two and we have a good work day, or you choose to call me nothing at all and we don't have to speak, socialize, any of that. So those are the options, you know.
Last but not least, I don't allow them to move forward in any conversation unless they get my name right.
They may automatically assume you to be, you know, the angry Black person or confrontational, but at the end of the day, you know, your name is your name. It's what I was given. It's very unique. My parents took time to name me that, and either you can get with the program or not. Up to you. Yeah. So thank you guys again for tuning in to this series. This is going to be a 3-part series that discusses the art of code switching, and also there's going to be a short haul of business casual looks that I have in my closet that I'm going to share with you all. Again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my channel. And again, my name is Tottie. Remember, I don't got it all, but best believe I'm on my way to go get it, and I hope that you guys are on your way too. Thank you, and bye.